Now, this might sound like a simple question, and maybe it is, but you've been training and recruiting for quite some time. What do you love about it? Are there a couple success stories, micro or macro, that have had the most impact on you?
The first story that comes to my mind is this. I have actually gotten a lot of transgenders hired in the car industry,
Really?
and I'm proud of that. I am. Because, and again, I don't understand that. I don't. Obviously, I was born a man. I'm not going to transgender to a female. That's not me. But I don't understand that. But I see good people of high character that I have, and I've gotten them hired, and they've done very well. They have. And I think that's the big key where, the first story I'm thinking of a person. I got them hired 7 days into employment. They already had sold 4 cars, and she had a tough half a day, and she broke down, and that manager fired her. 7 days in, she called me crying. We cried it out, her and I. And this was a he to a she. Okay.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you? She said, I don't know if I can do this. I said, I believe in you. Just because he's confused doesn't mean you and I have to be. Do you want this for you and your wife? And she said, yes. Okay, let's figure this out. I didn't have a store in the area, so use me as a reference. She did, but the dealer didn't call me. She got hired on her own, told me she's still there over 2 years later, number 2 or number 3 in the store. And she's very grateful for me. I'm very grateful for her. I actually, during one of my 10-day programs, which is my longest tenured program, a 10-day program is the highest employee retention. 3 weeks ago in Missouri, I had her call in and speak to the class, and she was very candid about being a transgender and what she's gone through at the ridicule level and the identity level, and also about the story to share with you. And she's very proud of where she's at, her and her wife. And what that's done is her wife has some physical issues, and she's been able to stay home, her wife, because she has now not only covered her income, but made even more, covered her past income and past career, plus her wife's, and then some, so her wife can be at home and take care of her physical issues.
Yeah.
It's stories like that. That's the first one that comes to my mind. I could sit here for 5 hours and tell you stories across the country of people. Another one, real quick. I interviewed with him March of 2020. Anthony, I'm making $80,000 a year. I have 2 young boys at home, 4 and 6. I have a daughter from a prior relationship about to go into college next year. Will I go backwards in income my first year selling cars? I said, probably, Mike. Now what? I gave him the example. I gave him an answer he did not expect to hear. He looks at me. He says, I want to come to your training class. I said, I would love for you to come to training class. Well, he came in, started April 1st, 2020, and in 9 months made $120,000. Last year made $253,000. I actually stopped and visited with him last Friday because I was in his area, and he had a little bit of a health issue this year, so that cost him a little bit, but he's still on pace for about 245 this year. Okay, nothing wrong with that, right? So he never looked back. Now he has twins on top of the 3 children, and his daughter goes to college in Italy. She just took a little sabbatical, a semester off, but she's been in Italy the last 2 years for school. She has a semester off, and will go back next semester. And he can afford all this. He
Yeah.
can. And him and I are very, very close. Very close. I'm very grateful for him. He's very grateful for me. His wife knows who I am, even I've never met her before. It's the opportunities where he took the risk, and he was making 80 grand a year. Nothing wrong with that. And he wanted something more. And the biggest thing about that story, Kelly, is this: his career did before, he wasn't home every night. Now he can tuck his boys in every night, and now put his twin babies who were born now that are eight months old to bed every night as well. So that's why I do what I do. Situations like, there's just 2 examples. Again, I could sit here till Christmas and tell you stories, So
Yeah. Those are good ones.